At the police station in Royal Woods, we see Ivy, Lincoln with Luna and Lenny sitting on the bench while Lily was asleep in Ivy's arms, waiting for Harley to be done telling the detectives on what she knows, and Lincoln was worried about Lucy because she had done something demonic. He didn't even know if she was mentally sick, so if he did, then it would have been probably saved her too. Ivy sees the worries in Lincoln's eyes and puts a hand on his shoulder. Hey, don't worry, Link. Everything would be okay. Lincoln looked at Ivy. I'm just worried about Lucy. I never thought she would do this. Luna then spoke. None of us did, little bro. But we should have. Sam then saw a message on her phone. It looks like the word of this whole ordeal has gotten out all because of the talk of the class tomorrow. Lainey then was looking down. I just can't believe that I did all this of what Dad did to you, Linky. How could I have been so stupid? What's wrong with me? Lenny then started to cry. Lincoln then held her hand. It's not your fault, Lenny. If it was theirs, you're still kind-hearted, Lenny. I know and love. That made Lenny smile and then felt a bit of pain in her head. She didn't know what it was, so she shrugged it off. Then Harley and Batman and the detectives came out and walked towards Ivy, Lincoln, Luna, and Lenny. Alright, we got a confession from Miss Quinn, so now we need to interrogate the Louds, Detective Apple said. Lincoln then walked to Batman. Any word on Lucy? Lincoln asked worriedly. Batman looked at Lincoln. She will survive, but she will need a lot of help. Batman then looked concerned. I'm just glad I stopped her before it was too late. Everyone then looked at him in confusion. What are you talking about, Batsy? Harley asked in concern. Batman then told him. She was trying to turn herself into a demon. That shocked everyone. But not just any demon, an overload. Luna then spoke. How dangerous are overloads? Luna said, still in shock. An overload is the most dangerous ones at the pits of hell, where all kinds of overloads such as free Vs, and the most dangerous one is the radio demon. If she had started to try to turn herself into an overload, then she could have, end life as we know it. Batman then exclaimed, and everyone was shocked and scared of what he said. What? Luna said nervously. Major mind blow, dude, Sam said, hugging on to Luna. Holy crap, Ivy said in shock. What the hell did we just hear? Harley said. Poor Lucy, Lenny said softly. Then Lincoln looked down. This is all my fault. I should have been there for Lucy. Lincoln then cried. Harley then kneeled down and wipes Lincoln's tears away. Hey, look at me. Harley then looked at Lincoln and then listened to what she says. It's not your fault. It was that when they pushed her into the wipe so that the tears away. But this was all because of everything. It will be okay for us. Lincoln then hugged Harley as she hugged him back. Luna then looked at Batman. So what now, dude? Luna asked. Batman looked determined. Now we need to think about this whole thing. Batman then walked into the interrogation room to get answers. The first person Batman interrogated was Lori and was not happy being here. Now, why tell me that you did this to your own brother? Lincoln just scoffed. Lincoln is nothing more than a nerd and a little twerp. He literally can't stand up for himself, and he literally ruins everything. Batman then looked at the oldest teen sternly. That is your own brother you're talking about? You should have been there to protect him, just like his two older sisters are doing. Batman scolded. Lori then just rolled her eyes. Oh please, Lenny is literally an idiot and doesn't do anything right, and Luna's always been so clingy on to Lincoln ever since he was born. I never asked for a little brother. Mom should have put him up for adoption when she had the chance, or get rid of him. Batman did not like what she said and then overlooked at the detectives. Take her back into the holding cell and bring in the clown. Detectives Sandy and Danny then looked away and brought Luann, who was in a straitjacket and was laughing like crazy. She then sat down and saw Batman staring at her. Well, it looks like the cat's out of the bat. Ha ha ha! Get it? Luann joked. Batman could tell that this was going to be a bad. Why do you have to make dangerous pranks? You don't realize those pranks are hurting the family? Batman asked. Luann just laughed. Because it's funny seeing my family in pain, and I love hurting them with my pranks. I really wanted to, well, kill one of them by using oil on the kitchen floor and making the fridge fall on them. I really wanted it to be Lincoln, since he was an easy target. Luann laughed manically. Batman then just sees that and she has lost it, and Harley is right. She could be the next Joker. Take her away and restrain her from doing anything. Detectives took Luann away, who was still laughing, so they brought Lola. Then she sees Batman and laughed nervously. Batman looked at the little girl with anger. Tell me why you treat your brother like a good luck charm. Lola tried to play innocent. I didn't want to do it. I never had a reason with my mommy and daddy. That's what's wrong, Lola said, looking innocent. Batman was not buying it. Nice try, kid. That cute little girl persona don't work on me. Lola then tried to tell him, Grr, okay, I use him for my good luck charm to hurt my enemies at the pageants. I do want that, so Lincoln is nothing more than a crybaby with no friends, and I am the boss of this family, Lola stated. Batman then just shook his head. Take the spoiled brat away and bring me her twin. They took Lola away and she complained about being held. When they brought Lana, who was looking confused when she sat down, nervous when she saw Batman. What are you gonna do to me? Lana asked nervously. Batman could see that she's nervous and told her calmly, I just want to ask you a few questions. Nothing more, nothing less. Lana then still looks nervous, but listened to him. Now can you tell me why your family treated your brother like if he was bad luck? Lana then looked at Batman in confusion. Bad luck? What are you talking about? Lana asked. Batman then looked at Lana and raised an eye. You don't remember anything about what happened? Lana shook her head. All I remember was that I was going to ask Lincoln if he wanted to come help me train for an alligator wrestling contest after he said no 2 days ago. By saying he was bad luck. I didn't believe him, just took it as if his way he didn't feel like going. Then I felt something hit me in the head and I got knocked out. The next thing I remember, I know, waking up to find Lucy covered in blood and everyone being taken away. Then Lana just remembered Lucy. Wait, is Lucy okay? Batman then looked at the girl that is shocked that doesn't remember anything and asked, Do you recall anything after you got knocked out? Lana tried to remember. When I recall that dream, Lisa opened up my head and stuck a chip in my brain, but it was a weird dream. Oh, and Mom and Dad were in there too while Lisa was opening my head. Batman then realized that she had no idea what she's done, so she played victim and he knows what to do next. Thank you for telling me this. Batman then looked at detectives. Keep an eye on her and bring me the child prodigy. The detectives then took Lana away and they brought Lisa, who looked emotionless, as she always is when she looked at Batman, who gave her a stern look. Now I'm going to ask you this one time. Batman then slammed his fist. Why did you put a chip in your sister's head? Batman yelled. Lisa wasn't fazed by this, simply because to put an emotional chip that I would have invented like that Lana did not care about our male sibling. Batman then looked at Lisa sternly. And why did you do the same that goes to your brother? Lisa then was straining her glasses. I only did it all for science. I am just getting ready for my next step of cloning. Batman then got closer to her face. You are a twisted little girl with dark desire to take the mad scientist of a 4-year-old girl away. Lisa then got mad. I am more superior than you. Detective Danny grabbed her and let her out. Unhand me, you simpletons! And then they left the room. The next person to walk in who started everything, Lynn Jr. She then took the seat and looked at Batman, and she wasn't worried and looked at him with a stern look. Batman then looked at her with a stern of his own. Why did you put the blame on your brother for being bad luck? Linda rolled her eyes. Because he made me lose most of my game and Lynn Lau Jr. never loses. Exactly. How did he made you lose the game? Batman asked. Because he never showed up into any of my games and the one time he shows up, I lose, Lynn said. Batman then looked at the ponytail hill in anger. That's just because you lost the game. Doesn't mean he's bad luck. Lynn had enough of it. Of course it does. Stinkton is nothing else more than a weak loser who never amounts to anything. Lynn just stood there on the table. I want to be better than anyone else in the family, and I want to be number 1. You'll be number 1, all right. Batman then stood up. In jail, take her away and bring me the parents. Lynn tried to fight and make her run towards the guards, but couldn't hold her, and then Detective Danny had shocked her with a taser, which caused her to knock her out, and then they handcuffed her and took her away. Then Detective Sandy brought in Lynn Sr., who looked nervous but got more nervous when he saw Batman. Lynn Sr. laughed nervously. Now let's try to be reasonable about this, and I want to know how Lucy's doing. Batman then looked at the man. I am not letting you anywhere near that goth kid. There are cops watching her at the hospital since you never pay any attention to her. Lynn Sr. then looked at Batman in shock. No, I always pay attention to my kids, and they are responsible. Batman then grabbed Lynn Sr. by the collar. Responsible, you prank-loving daughter has lost her mind and want to use her pranks to kill someone? Batman yelled. Lynn Sr. then started sweating. She's probably didn't mean to. And your mad scientist girl, you used one of your daughter's heads to be a jerk to her and her brother to forget everything. Batman then cut Lynn Sr. off. Lynn Sr. started to cry. I don't know what's going on with my family. I don't even know what's happened. I only treat my son like trash. That caused Batman to punch Lynn Sr. in the face. Batman then picked up Lynn Sr. up. He is your only son and you're supposed to love and support him, Batman yelled. Lynn Sr. looked at Batman. I will never love a kid who has bad luck. Batman then dropped him and looked at the detectives. Take this coward of a man away. After Ramirez and Stoneheart took Lynn Sr. away, Rita walked in, looking calm as she sat down and looked at Batman. Batman then looked at Rita. Now, why did you neglect your kids? Rita then looked at Batman. I never have done that to my children. I know it's not true because you locked one and your only son out of the house, making him sleep outside to use him as good luck charm in a mascot suit, and the only one who helped him was your third oldest daughter, just to save him. So tell me, why did you do this to your son now? Batman demanded. Rita then decided to tell him. Okay, I'll tell you. I hated Lincoln ever since I was born. He was born because of his white hair. He looked like a freak and disgrace to my family, and when Lynn stated that he was bad luck, I used that opportunity and hoped that suit would kill him. Batman looked in shock. And what about your third oldest daughter who saved him? Rita scoffed. I don't like Luna ever since she came out as bi, and a girl is in love with a girl? She's a little sicko. Batman then couldn't believe what he was hearing. Don't you see all this madness that your family is falling apart, and your daughter tried to do a demonic ritual that could have ended her life? Batman stated. Rita rolled her eyes. I actually wanted her to do that because she's nothing more than a little freak like Lincoln, with pale skin and her freakishy eyes. Batman was getting even more mad. And what about that chip that was in your 6-year-old's brain? Batman yelled. Rita then left. I told Lisa to do that because if Lana knew what she was doing, she'd call the cops and I wouldn't go to jail. Batman then had enough and threw the table and grabbed Rita by the shirt collar. Your son and daughters and your own children. How could you? Batman yelled. Rita then smirks. Not so fast. You can't hurt a pregnant woman, can you? Batman then looked at her in shock and let her go. The cops entered and they brought some medics with them, and they examined Rita. The doctor named Dr. Stone looked at Batman. We did an examination, and it is true that she's pregnant, said Dr. Stone. Batman then looked at Rita, who was smirking at him, and Batman got to her face. When the court day comes, I am going to enjoy seeing this horrible mother be put behind bars. Batman then left the interrogation room. And once he did leave, Batman then saw Harley, Ivy, Lincoln, Luna, Sam, and Lenny looked at him. So what happened? Ivy asked. Batman sighed. They all confessed their crimes, but I did figure out something interesting. Harley looked at Batman. What did you find out? Harley asked. Batman looked at everyone. That grease monkey kid didn't know about this whole thing. Luna then looked at Batman in confusion. What do you mean, dude? Luna asked. Apparently, the mother ordered the mad scientist to put a chip in her brain to make her not care about her brother at all, and erased everything. And when they got arrested, so apparently the grease monkey kid is innocent, Batman exclaimed. Everyone looked up in shock about this, and Luna wanted to beat up Rita for some. Same goes to with Sam and Harley. Ivy then spoke up. It's getting late. We should all get some shut-eye. Ivy then looked at Lincoln and Luna. You two can stay with me in Hearts until the court date. That made Luna and Lincoln smile. Then Lenny spoke up. But where am I going to stay at? You could stay with me. Everyone turned around to see a woman that Lenny knew. Miss Carmichael? Lenny asked in confusion. Miss Carmichael walked up to Lenny. Yes, I saw the news and about what happened. I thought maybe I could help you. Linny smiled and hugged Miss Carmchild. Thank you. Batman then looked at Harley. You keep an eye on the kids. They need a lot of help, and I'll keep you updated on the Goth kid. Harley then smiled. Thank you. Harley then turned to Ivy, Lincoln, and Luna. Come on, everyone. Let's go. Luna and Sam then shared a hug, and as they all left the station, Batman looked at the Louds being taken away, and then looked at Lana, who had a feeling that she needed help, and had an idea.